Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity Yoga. I'm going to continue answering questions from a jar and hope that I can answer it within a 10-minute time frame. None of my answers will be perfect because I am far from an expert in anything. I'm just doing this mostly to assimilate my own learning. So I will continue with this exercise. I will pick to the question from the jar. I'm going to read it quickly, take a deep breath, set my timer, and begin to try to answer it. I think my cat Lily wants to come up, so you may see her jumping across my screen in a minute. I see you have very few subscribers on your YouTube channel. You have very few likes or comments. Why do you do it? Aren't you embarrassed? I see you have very few subscribers on your YouTube channel, likes or comments. Why do you do it? Aren't you embarrassed? I think it's a great question, and I appreciate that question. I am going to, set my timer very quickly. Lily is getting ready to pounce, so beware. Deep breath and exhale. I do that just to kind of get the ego out of the way a bit. I'm going to bring her up before she jumps up on the screen. Go over there. Sorry. I'm trying to make this as natural as possible. I don't like to edit or revise. I just like to put it up there and get it out. So this question helps me to describe why I do what I do. And I really don't know why I do what I do. And I'm fully aware that I have 32 subscribers. And to most people, that would be like, oh, minimal, you know. Some people have millions of subscribers. To me, 32 is a classroom. And though I don't consider myself an educator in this thing that I'm doing, I'm definitely not any type of spiritual teacher, nor do I want to be. It does appeal to my teachers or educators' ego to have the 32 students. You know, that'd be a great group of students, which I'm very used to teaching to, or educating in front of, lecturing in front of. That would, so it appeals. 32 may not seem like much to this person, but to me, it's a great number. I'm also aware that out of that 32, very few people may actually spend time listening to what I have to read or say on these videos. They may, I think my viewing length of time on some of them is 1.8 minutes. So some people don't even get past a couple of minutes when they're checking into these videos. And I'm fully aware of that. And I think on some videos I score whatever that ratio means, 6 out of 10. And if I got a 60% on a test back in the day when I was studying, I probably would have been, want to rewrite. But I'm not going to redo these videos, and I'm not going to try to do any better than what I'm doing, because that is not my purpose for being here. I recently saw the documentary on Netflix about the Australian influencers in the wellness community. I forget what it was called. Apple Cider Vinegar, I think it was called. It was a great documentary, and it was based on, and it wasn't actually a documentary. It was like a pseudo-documentary. It was a movie based on the lives of these two influencers and how they impacted the world and their dependency on the likes and dislikes, or the likes, sorry, and the subscribers in their channels, because that's how one of them especially gained their sense of personal validity, their sense of self-concept. It really, really stroked their ego to have this, to the point where they were lying about having a brain tumor so that they could gain those likes. And what they did in the video, which was kind of interesting, was they showed every time she got a positive comment or got positively validated for something she said on her channel, that all these hearts and happy faces and everything start coming out of the phone. That was the means of the electronic device that she was using to check in with her sites and stuff. And she was getting that validation, and so that just encouraged her to go more and more and more. I obviously don't have all those hearts and stuff coming out of this computer, if I have anything. And I still do what I do. So this questioner asked if I was embarrassed by my lack of presence on in the YouTube world, or in the social media world, whatever you want to call this thing that I'm doing. And yes, my ego is very embarrassed. My ego doesn't want to do this. The part of me that would, like when you've seen those individuals doing what they were doing, especially the lying part, and trying to gain and maintain a fellowship or a following through the subscriber accounts and likes and whatnot through their channels, they were so dependent on that. That is their ego doing that. And I still have an ego. Don't get me wrong. I could just be where they are, maybe, especially 10 years ago. I probably would be if I was getting the following they were getting. I would have probably, oh my gosh, I need more. I mean, be more dependent on that. Giving up who they truly are authentically to gain some kind of presence and image on the social screen. I think we're all have that potentiality in us, So I'm definitely not doing it. Obviously, if I only have 32 subscribers, which I'm very proud to have, and I have a lot of 6 out of 10s and viewers are less than 2 minutes, I still do what I'm doing. So it's not the ego here that's getting stroked, and it's not the ego that's getting validated, and it's not the ego that's getting built through this what I'm doing. Just the opposite. Right, my ego is saying, get off the screen. Why are you putting yourself up there? Especially when you don't even care what you look like, you don't care how you sound, you're not editing, you're revising, you don't have all the fancy equipment, you don't have the backgrounds and the whatever that YouTubers probably should have. I just come up to do this. So the person is asking then, since that you have this, why are you doing what you're doing? And that is a question I've been asking myself since I started this. Prior to the video components that I do here, I was doing a blog, right? And I still continue to do the blog, Waking Up in a Busy World. And I do that compulsively every morning. I get up and I have this great compulsion in me to write something based on what I've learned, either that morning or that week or something, this lifetime, that I felt like I needed to express and share. So I do that blog compulsively, just like I do these videos somewhat compulsively. There is a selfish reason, both the blog and the vlogging, I guess you call it. I do want to practice certain skills that I've gained over the years. I consider myself a writer, and I've spent a lot of years and energy and even money in university courses on writing, trying to become a better writer. I have done the whole Toastmasters gamut a few years ago, many years ago, I guess, and to get over a terrible fear I had of public speaking. It just dominated my life. So I decided to do something about it when I was in my early 30s, and get over that fear by becoming a public speaker. And it was a fairly arduous journey to get all your Toastmasters. Back then it was CTM and ATM. It's different type of programming. Now if you are a Toastmaster, you know what I'm talking about. Now it was just so many speeches you had to do in the ATM level, so many speeches you had to do at the CTM level. And I was able to get my CTM gold, and I was very proud of that because of where I had come from to get that. So I love the process of learning how to public speak, and one of the things we did with public speaking in the Toastmaster meetings was something called impromptu speaking, where you were given a question out of a jar, not knowing what it was going to be, and you had, I think, 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to answer that question. And this, of course, what I'm doing right now is just a way of helping me to keep up on those skills, though I'm far from a perfect speaker, don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that I am. They help me to build those skills and keep up those skills that I've been able to gain over the course of my lifetime. So this is a 10-minute, not a 2-minute answer based on a question that I'm not aware of until I pull out the question. So that to me is part of the reason why I do what I do too, is to build up those skills, both my writing skills and my speaking skills. So there's selfish motivation for coming here to do this. Am I embarrassed? Yes. My ego is very embarrassed. I would love to take all these videos and put them a nice protective wall around them that only certain people who really, really got something from this, who really, not maybe appreciate it, but was able to learn from the way that I'm doing these videos, to gain that message that I'm sharing and to make it a part of their own lives because it resonated within them. I would like to take that group of followers. Followers sounds terrible. Subscribers even sounds terrible to me. I can't get, people who are actually watching these and getting something from this, I guess. And I'd like to take just that nice, safe amount and put a wall around as nobody else in the outside world with a critical eye would look at it. I wouldn't have to look at it with my own critical ego eye. I would just say, this is the message I want to share. This is what I've learned. I'm sharing it for the most purest of reasons, without looking to get validated for it or get anything back from it. Not attached to the fruits of my actions, just here sharing because it's this compulsion I have into me to share what I'm learning, because the message is so important, I believe. Then that would be perfect. If I could just create that little safe world to speak into. A classroom where I could shut the door and I know every student that was sitting in front of me was there because they really wanted to be there. Wouldn't that be great? But that's not realistic, is it? I'm just putting a video up that takes me 10 minutes, or sometime going over lately especially, say 20 minutes at max to get done, and I put it up and I don't edit or do anything. Look at my hair, see? I'm just looking at my hair all sticking up. I don't care. That's not it. I, as this person that you're seeing, this trillions of cells meshing into this one body that you're seeing right now with the psyche, which is just an accumulation of all the stored events I've had over my years, that is sitting here through which I am speaking through, is not important. It's not where the message is. It is the message that is important. And that which is encouraging me to express this message, that is important. But you may not see that. You may just see this foolish old woman standing in front of you, shouting out a bunch of this woo-woo nonsense, as many people call it, to people who aren't really ready to listen and who do not want to hear what she has to say. Look, hey, look at her subscribers. Look at her. She's only 6'10" here. She's only, some people are only staying there on it for less than 2 minutes. Why is she doing what she's doing? Because there might be one person out there that is getting something from this. And that's what my non-ego self tells me, I guess, when I'm looking for some validation, is why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm willing to embarrass the ego part of me that is still very concerned about what people may think about me, very much wanting to please the general masses. And here I am putting myself out in a way that's not pleasing to very many people and not pleasing to my own ego, yet I'm doing it anyway. So I'm doing it, I guess, for higher reasons than I even understand. And I hate, it's not that I'm superior or anything like that when I say higher. I just say there's this thing inside us that knows the truth. And it wants that truth out there so other people know the truth. And truth, of course, is very relative. So the truth that I'm expressing may not be truth to you at this point, but someday I'm hoping that you will realize that there's only one truth and there's just many paths to that truth. But regardless, I have this deep compulsion to share what I am learning because of the message. And as this imperfect form through which this message is coming through, as I guess the idea is just to reach one person. So if I'm reaching one, I don't even know if I'm reaching one person. I may not be reaching absolutely anybody. I may be talking to myself in an empty classroom again. Sitting here lecturing to people that I've left to go to the bathroom and never came back. And if that's the case, that's the case. I still feel this compulsion to do this. It's a pull more than anything. So yes, I'm embarrassed, and I'm not really sure why I do it, other than that I have this compulsion to do it. And there is some, as well as the selfish reasons of practicing skills that I've spent a portion of my life trying to develop, and I don't want to lose those skills. And you may say, well, you're not very skillful, lady. Let me tell you, maybe you keep practicing. And I will. I will keep practicing. And I'll still be here, even though I may be reaching so few. Yeah, I'm just hoping in the back of my mind to validate by saying, maybe somebody somewhere is getting something from these messages. So I will continue to do what I'm doing and embarrass myself, embarrass my ego. Probably embarrass my family, too, if they knew what I was doing. But regardless, here I am. Well, Lily, my cat's not too embarrassed. She's over there relaxing, so I guess that's important. Anyway, I'm being silly. Thank you so much for joining me. And I do love that question. Thank you for sharing it. Namaste.